Good day, grade 12 learners. Welcome to our mathematical literacy lesson. I am Skolile Ngube, and this lesson is proudly brought to you by the Northern Cape Department of Education in collaboration with Pagama Research and Development. We're going to look at maps, plans, and other representations of the physical world, and we're going to concentrate on the elevation plans. You know that there are different types of plans. Okay, we're going to discuss that. But in this lesson, we're concentrating on the elevation plans. Okay, right. What are we going to do at the end of the lesson? You should be able to identify the scale of a plan. You should be able to do that. Identify the scale of a plan, and then we're going to define terms. We're going to know what a floor plan is. By the end of this lesson, you should be knowing that. You should know what an elevation plan is, and you should know what a layout plan is. Okay, and then we're going to read off values of given dimensions on the plan. We're going to read off values of given dimensions on the plan, e.g. the length of the wall or is 4 meters. You should be able to read that from the given plan. Okay, and then you should be able to use a given key. You should be able to use a given key to identify the number of windows. You should be able to see which one is a window using the key. The doors, rooms shown on the plan of a building. Right? Do you know how to identify a room? Do you know how to identify a window? Do you know how to identify a bathroom? Okay, we're going to learn that. Identify on which plan a particular structure is shown. E.g., the door is shown on the north elevation of the plan, or on the south elevation of the plan, on the east elevation or west elevation. Okay, right, we're going to know that. And then we are going to measure dimensions. What are we going to do? Measure dimensions. You should be able to measure grade 12. You should be able to measure. You should know how to use a ruler. Some people even don't know now when I'm measuring, where do I start? I'm going to show you that. Okay, right, how to measure dimensions on a plan and use a given scale to determine the actual distance. Also, we're going to revisit how we find the number scale, how we use the number scale, how we use the bar scale. Right, we're going to use plans in conjunction with other content, skills or applications to complete a project, e.g. interpolate plans to determine the dimensions of a room in order to establish the amount of carpet needed for the floor of the room, or the amount of paint needed, or the amount of tiles needed. We're going to be able to use that. You see that? Okay. And then we are going to describe an item represented in a plan. Right, we're going to critique the design of a structure shown on a plan. Right, and then we're going to decide on an appropriate scale in which to draw a plan and then draw the plan. Okay, we're going to make connections between plans showing different views of the same structure. Explain which wall shown on a floor plan is represented on the particular side view. Now we're going to be having combinations of what? Of floor plans and elevation plans. You should be able to connect these two. Looking at the floor plan, which elevation plan is this? Is it the south elevation? Is it the north elevation? Is it what? Is it the west or east elevation? Again, I'm going to teach you how to do that. Right, grade 11. We did building plans, we did floor plans, we've talked about this. Also, compass direction. You will never get an examination without this. You must know your number scale. You must know your bar scale. You must know your compass direction. Those are your free marks you're going to get. You know that there will be a question about the compass direction. You know that there will be a question about what? The number scale or the bar scale. So you should be able to do those things, okay? Right. And then this is our baseline activity. Let's have 5 minutes doing this activity. 5 minutes, and then when we come back, we're going to answer the questions. Let's do it. 5 minutes. Welcome back. Let's explain or let's answer these questions. The first one is about explaining anyway. Right. Explain the term floor plan. What is the floor plan? What do you think? Do you have your answer there with you? A floor plan is a simple line drawing showing rooms as though seen from above without a roof. You know in X-ray, you know what an X-ray is? In X-ray, you can see the bones inside the body. So it's like that. It's like the bed view. It's like you're a bed or on an aeroplane, and then you're seeing the room or the house from the top, or any structure from the top. Okay, so it is a simple line drawn showing as though seen from above without the roof. Or the floor plan shows the design and dimensions of the inside of a building from a top view. From a top view, you can see the dimensions and the structure of the buildings. That's a floor plan. I'm going to show you one very soon. Give one purpose of a floor plan. What is the purpose of a floor plan? Why should you need a floor plan? Right. The purpose of a floor plan is to show the layout and design of the three-dimensional structure, We see this a lot. Let's say you want to build a house. You go to the planners, and then the planners will draw a plan. It will be having all these, the floor plan. It will have the side views. Okay? Right. So floor plan is very important for that. And then mention any two types of plans used in the topic of maps and plans. Any two. Okay, we talked about this when we just looked at the pre-knowledge. Any two types of plans. We have what? We have the floor plan, we have the design plan, and then we have the elevation plan. That's the one we are going to look at today, mainly, and part of this. Okay? State two types of scales used in maps and plans. One of them is here, what we call this one that we can see there. That's a bar scale. We have mainly the number scale and the bar scale. The number scale is like saying 1 is to 200. That's a number scale. Then the bar scale is this one. That's a bar scale. You are given the following bar scale. Explain the first step to be followed when working with this scale. When given a bar scale, what is the first thing to do? The first thing to do, take note of this, because it's very, very important. I've seen people, they are given a bar scale, they don't even know what to do with it. Okay? When you're given a bar scale, the first thing to do is to measure it. Measure the bar scale. You can measure the whole bar scale. Let's say I measure, this is my ruler, and then I find that in this ruler, this is 5 centimeters. And then from this, I can say 5 centimeters represent 150 meters. Something like that. Or you can measure this part. You can measure this part from there to there. Okay, so you can measure the whole bar scale or just measure that part. If you measure this part, it means whatever you get in your ruler represents 50 meters. Okay, the first thing to do when you're given a bar scale, measure it. Okay, and then you can start doing your calculations after that. Right. Okay, right. And then you measure the whole length of the bar or measure the segment, like I showed you, segment from 0 to 50 there, or even from 0 to 100, you can do that. Okay, segment of the bar. Right, identify the following symbols used on plans. I want you to try this. Let's say maybe 2 minutes, we try to name these items, A, B, C, D, E. These things that we find them in the plans, especially the floor plans, right? What do they represent? Let's try, 2 minutes. Welcome back. Now, A, what is that? That's a seat there in the bathroom toilet. So that's the, what we call that? That's the toilet. So once you see a room with that, it means that's a toilet. And then what about B? What is this part? What does that represent? That's a window. That's a window. Then this is the most common one. Every floor plan is this. What is this? The door, showing that this door is being, this is the door. And then when it's being opened, it goes like this. Okay, that's the door there, right? And then D, what is this? It represents what? The bathroom. The bathroom. If you see a room with that, it means that's the bath. And then a thick line like that, that means the wall. The wall. Okay, right. So we must know some of these. And then in some plans, you'll be given the key. Check the key. Check the key, and then the key will guide you. Okay, right. And then terminology. 2D diagrams. What are 2D diagrams? You may be asked to define terms in mathematical literacy. Please make sure that you know these things, because you may be asked, what is a 2D diagram? You can get that question in the exam. These questions are coming from the KEBS document and examination guidelines. So it means you may find these things in the exam. 2D diagram is a diagram or a picture having length and width. Do you see that? Length and width. Two dimensions. But if it's length, width, and height, that's 3 dimensions. Like real objects, like this calculator, it's a real object. It has the length, width, and height. That's a 3D. Oh, there's 3D there. It's a dimensional construction of real life objects. Yes, real life objects. There's length, width, and height. But 2D is just length and width. Bar scales. We talked about this. Presented as a picture, it means that if you placed a ruler next to this scale, you could determine how many centimeters of the ruler represent the specified kilometers. Like that bar scale there, I remember it was something like this, if I remember it very well. It was something like this, I think. And then there was 0, 50, 100, and 150. You can measure this from there to there and find that is 5 centimeters, like we said. That means these 5 centimeters in real life represents 150 meters. It was meters there. Okay. And then elevation plans, that's what we're looking for today. That's what we're learning about today. These show the design and dimensions of the outside of a building from the side view. From the side view. You see that? From the side. If you look at the building from the side, if you look at the classroom from the side, what do you see? And then which side is it? Is it the southern side, northern side, eastern side, western side? Okay, right? Floor plan shows the design and dimensions of the inside of the building from the top view. From the top, you see the dimensions and the structure of the buildings. Number scale. A number scale such as 1 is to 50,000. I've seen this question a lot. They'll give you a number scale like this and say, what does this mean? What does this 1 is to 50,000 mean? 1 is to 50,000 means that 1 unit. Do you see that? Unit. 1 unit on the plan represent 50,000 what? Units. Okay, we don't have centimeters and meters here. 1 unit on the map represent 50,000 centimeters in real life. If you want to put units, then they must be the same. 1 centimeter represents 50,000 centimeters. 1 meter represents 50,000 meters. 1 millimeter represents 50,000 millimeters. It must be the same here. The unit must be the same. Okay, so it's safer to just say 1 unit on the map or on the plan represents 50,000 units in real life. Okay, then the scale determines how many times smaller an object shown on the plan or map is to its actual size. Okay, so this is terminology that you must remember, grade 12s. And then floor or layout plans, these are the type of plans. And then elevation plans, and then design plans. Okay, all right. And then elevation plans. What is an elevation plan? That's what we want to learn. And also remember, we're going to use our floor plans. An elevation plan is a two-dimensional picture. It is the length and width, showing what an object or structure looks like from the side. It is a view of a building seen from one side. This is the most common view used to describe the external appearance of a building. So when you want to see the external appearance of the building, it is better to see all the side views, northern side, southern side, eastern side, western side. Then you can see how the building looks like. Okay, like this. This is a side view. This is a side view. This is another side. This is another side. Okay, right. And then we have another one. It says here, each elevation is labeled in relation to the compass direction it faces. The compass direction it faces. E.g., looking toward north, you will be seeing the southern elevation of the building. Let me explain this. I'll just use a simple diagram, a rectangle for the building. Let's say a classroom. And then we have our compass with north there. Remember, we should go clockwise like this. Never, ever smoke weed. Right. North, east, south, west. So now, if you check, let's take this side here. What is this side? This is the side which is on the western side of the building. It is western side of the building. So this is the western elevation, west elevation. But I am the observer. If I'm standing this side and observing, this is me here observing. Where am I facing? This is me here observing. I'm facing what? East. I'm facing east and I'm seeing the west elevation. If I'm this side, this is the north elevation. And then I'm looking at the south, towards the south. But I'm seeing what? The north elevation. But this, I want to explain this statement. E.g., looking towards north. You're looking towards north. Let's say this side. I'm looking towards north here. Then what am I seeing here? I'm seeing the south elevation. This is like the compass is here. This is north, east, south, west. So I'm here looking north. I'm seeing the south elevation. I'm here looking west. I'm seeing the east elevation. So if you want to find the elevation of the building, just put your compass inside the building and then it will show you the sides, the elevations. Put the compass inside the building and then it becomes very easy for you to know which elevation it is. If the compass is outside, you may not be able to interpret that. Just draw it inside and then you see which elevation it is. That's what we're going to be doing in this lesson. Elevation plans show the design of the outside of a building. In other words, an elevation is a side view. What is an elevation? It's a side view. And then floor plan, top view. Top view, side view. Is viewed from the front, back, left, or right. So elevation plans are the side view. Elevation plans usually labeled north elevation. I've explained these points, so I'll quickly move through them. North elevation is the side of the house that you are facing when you are facing what? Towards south. When I'm facing towards south, I'm outside the building. I'm facing towards south. I will see the north elevation. The observer is outside the building. Please take note. And then I'm outside the building and I'm facing north. I will see the south elevation. Right? I'm outside the building and I'm facing west. I will see the east elevation. And then I'm outside the building, I'm facing east, I will see the west elevation. Remember, grade 12s, I may be moving fast. Okay. So what you have to do there, pause the video anytime and discuss. Don't rush through everything that I'm saying. If there's something that you don't understand, raise your hand. I don't understand that part. And then say or ma'am there will explain to you. Isn't it? Even your colleagues. Remember, you don't learn from us teachers only. We even learn from each other. That's why there's class discussion. Okay, let's discuss these things and make sure that we only move to the next part of the lesson when we have what understood what is being taught. Okay, let's try to do that. And then take note. Elevation plans may be accompanied by floor plans. We said we're going to be using these in conjunction. Others do not. Right? Usually elevations are drawn to scale so that the measurements can be taken from them and are further identified as front, side, or end elevations. The difference between a floor plan and an elevation plan is that the floor plan shows the aerial view or top view. I think it's easier to say top view, okay? While this elevation plan shows the front, side, back view, just side view. Okay, that's the difference. I'm going to be giving you an activity very soon. Please pay attention and make sure that you discuss things as we move together. Right, this is an example of an elevation plans. You can see the south side, west side, east side, north side. I'm just showing you these elevations. Okay, this is a good example. We have another one also showing us the examples of side elevations, north, south, west, east. Right, questions now. Study the floor plan and elevation plan carefully and use it to answer the questions that follow. Right, you can pause the video here and check the plans, and then if you are ready, we move on to the questions. Please check, observe, and study these floor plans and side and elevation plan. Okay, let's do that. And then after that, we move on to the questions. Right, what did you observe? There's also a compass there. Very good. That's a compass there. We need to make sure that we identify the compass. When you're going to be asked a question about direction, you have to see the compass first and see how it is pointing to the north. Where is your north? Where is your east? Where is your south? Where is your west? Before you answer your questions. Okay? So now this one is like a normal compass, so let's not stress about it. Right, let's go to the questions. Identify one difference between a floor plan and an elevation plan. Name the rooms that can be seen on the elevation plan. Right, let's try to answer these questions in 2 minutes. Welcome back. Right. Identify one difference between floor plan and an elevation plan. Floor plan shows aerial view or top view, while this elevation plan shows the front, side, or back view. That's the difference. Okay? Right. Mark your work there. Then 2. Name the rooms that can be seen on the elevation plan. Right. How do we see that? Right. Which side is this? Let's look at the elevation plan and the floor plan. We have a window, we have a window, we have a door, we have a window. Which side is these three? Not three, 4 things. There's a window, window, door, window. This should be the side. This side is window, window, no? This side is window, 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 then the window there, no, there's no door. This side there's no door there. So this is the side we're looking for. Then our compass, let's put our compass inside our building. We have the north, east, south, west. Go around like a clock, clockwise. Never ever smoke weed. And then which one is pointing? This is the south. So it means this is the south elevation. And which rooms are here? We have the storeroom, we have the wall. Sorry, I've written my things on top there. And then we even have this bedroom there. These are the rooms we can see on the elevation plan. So how did I see that? I picked the items that I can see. The windows there, they guided me. Okay, windows on the elevation plan, windows on the floor plan. These things must correspond because they are representing what? The same thing. It's only that the other one is an elevation plan and then the other one is a floor plan. Okay, right. And then study the floor plan and elevation plan carefully and use it to answer the questions that follow. Give the compass direction of the elevation shown. Compass direction. Oh, we have answered that, isn't it? Remember, we put our compass inside and say this one is the southern side. Okay? Then determine which room of the house will receive the late afternoon sun. Then afternoon, where does the sun go? It goes to the east or west? It goes to the west, isn't it? It's from east to west, isn't it? So now the sun goes like this. It's like, again, it's going on the northern side. On the northern side. Goes like this. And then this is west. This is east. That's how the sun goes. That's why for your room to be warm, it must be facing northern side. But now we're talking about the late afternoon. That means now it's on the western side. So which room would be having sunlight? It is the kitchen there. And then the kitchen is a window also. But we can talk of the storeroom. Yes, it will receive sunlight, but the problem with this one, there's no window there. There's no window. Even the waiting area here, there's no window there. But they are on the side that is receiving sunlight in the late afternoons. Okay, right. In the morning, it will be these ones, the eastern side, right? During the day, most of the times, it will be the ones on the northern elevation because the sun is like on the northern side. When here in South Africa, the sun is on the northern side. Right, so give the compass direction of the elevation shown. We talked about this, south elevation, and then kitchen or waiting area or the storeroom. But I was going to choose kitchen there because it is what? The window. Then the sun can penetrate the window and then the room becomes warm. Okay, right. And then the diagram below shows a family home. The house has one aluminum sliding door on the north elevation, should be this one, and one aluminum door on the west elevation, should be this one. Each door is fitted with 2 panels of safety glass. It should be this one. The aluminum sliding door is shown alongside the elevation plans, right? Now we want to go to the questions. Let's go to the questions. Define the term elevation plan. Measure the height in centimeters of the safety glass of the aluminum sliding door. I'll do this part because now to measure there on the board may be a problem. How many windows are shown on the plan's west elevation? Describe the term used for the space within the perimeter of the 2-dimensional plate surface. Right. Let's try to answer these 3 questions. This one, and this one. Let's try to do this in 4 minutes. Right, welcome back. Define the term elevation plan. We've been doing this, isn't it? It is a plan with a view of a building seen from the side view. It is a 2-dimensional representation of one side of a building. Like west elevation there represents the side on the west. North elevation represents the side on the north. Right. And then measure the height in centimeters of the safety glass of the aluminum sliding door. Right. And then right here I measured the glass. Now I measure the wall thing, the wall frame. Let's talk about measuring. Because I want to emphasize the measuring part. Right, when you're measuring, start from 0. You start from 0, not this corner of the ruler. No. Not this corner of the ruler. Start from 0 there. start from here, the 0, this part of the ruler. Okay, and then you measure. These are centimeters, and then the smaller one are millimeters. So we have 2 full centimeters, and then 2 comma 1 2 3 4. That would be 2 comma 4, the whole thing. But the question says measure the height of the safety glass. So the glass here, we may have to concentrate on the glass, not the glass in the frame. And then you put your 0 of the ruler there, and then you measure that. Please take note. The most important thing is you knowing how to measure using a ruler. The most common mistake that I've seen, people start measuring from the corner of the ruler there, which is wrong. You start from 0. Some people also, they start measuring from 1, which is wrong. Okay, you don't start measuring from 1, you start measuring from 0. Okay, all right, please take note of that. Right, describe the term used for the space within the perimeter of two-dimensional plate surface, the space inside 2D shape. The rectangle, what is the space inside the rectangle? What do we call it? It's called what? Area, or just surface area. Okay, that's surface area. Right. And then how many windows are shown on the plan's west elevation? This is the west elevation. How many windows do you see? How many? If there's no window, there's no window, isn't it? I don't see anything there. There's no window there. So windows is 0. Otherwise, this one is a door. That's a door. See, windows, 0. There's no window. Okay? Right. And then the diagram below shows a floor plan and an elevation plan of a farmhouse. Study the diagrams and answer the questions that follow. Explain the meaning of north elevation used on the diagram. North elevation. What is the meaning of that? Let's answer that in 1 minute. Right, north elevation. The north elevation shows the side view of the building from the northern direction. From the northern direction. That's the north elevation. Okay? Right. Define the term floor plan. Let's do that in 1 minute. What is a floor plan? We've been doing this, is repetition. Right, a floor plan is a plan that shows the top view of the inside of the building. Top view of the inside of the building. Use the scale 1:100 to determine the actual length in centimeters on the plan if the measured length is 5 centimeters. We measure this length on the plan and find that it's 5 centimeters. What is it in real life? I want you to do this calculation in 3 minutes. Let's try. Right, welcome back. So what do we do? The scale is easy. 1:100. This is the map or plan to actual. Right. So it means 1:100. I'm saying now, oh, 1, what is 100 rand? What can I find for 100? A shirt, a tie. Oh, maybe a tie, yes. 1 tie is 100 rand. What about 2 ties? 2 ties will be 200 rand. 3 ties, 300 rand. I just say 100 times 3. Something like that. So 1:100. On the plan is 1. Real life, 100. So now, what is it if on the plan is 5? It has to be 5 times 100. Just like that. And then just say 5 times 100, we get 500 centimeters. Means in real life, that is 500 centimeters. We're talking about the length, dimensions of a room here. It would be more appropriate to use meters. So we can convert this to meters. Divide by 100. Divide by 100. Centimeters to meters, divide by 100, which is 5 meters. There's another method you can use called cross multiplication. Maybe some of you have used that. You just write. This one, I like it because I don't even need to think. I know this side is plan, this side is real or actual. Right? I have plan here 5. I put here what I'm looking for, length. I put L for length. Then I just cross multiply. This times this is equal to this times this. So 1 times length is length. Then 5 times 100, 500. Done. Okay? All right. And then study the floor plan alongside and answer the questions that follow. There are 2 closets associated with bedroom 2. Do you see them? Let's look at bedroom 2. Bedroom 2, there are 2 closets there. The doors of the closet open in different directions. The door of the closet open in different directions. Why? Give a reason. Why are they opening in different directions? There's a closet, this one and this one. Do you see the other one is opening towards the bedroom? And then the other one is opening towards the corridor. You see that? So they have different doors, the doors are on different sides. The other side is in the bedroom, the other side is outside the bedroom or in the corridor. You see that? So one door is for the closet in the bedroom, and then the other door is for the closet in the corridor. Learner opinion there, try to explain using your own words. Identify each of the following elevation plans of the house. Let's take note of these. Compass, very important. Compass is facing north. This means the arrow is facing this. So this is our north. And then we go, never ever smoke weed. The arrow is pointing north. Don't say now the north is this side. No, the arrow is pointing north, right? And then, so north is downwards. And then, let's start with this A. I can see a window, a window, a window, and a door. 3 windows and doors. This side is out. This side is out. This side is out. Okay, this one is promising. Window, 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 door. Oh, that's the one. Now, our compass is inside, south, west, as you start to north, east, southwest. So where is it? On the south direction. So that's the south elevation. And then this one. How do I identify this one? It could be this side or this side. Why am I saying that? Because I don't see any window there. Okay, but now if I check this side, if I look at this side, it means I should be seeing this whole block and a small part of this, but with this one I can see this whole stuff here, which is this. You see this corner here, so it means this elevation is this side. This is the side I'm looking at. And then where is it? East. That's east elevation. Okay, right, I think so. Right, and the pillars here, you can see the pillars. These are the columns. They are there. You see that? You can see them. So this is the side, definitely. So that is the east side. So we have the south elevation and east elevation. Take note of the compass before you do anything. The diagram below is alongside now. Shows a floor plan of a new house. Use the diagram above to answer the questions that follow. Determine the elevation that shows the front view of the house. The front view of the house. Take note, the compass here should be this. Let me correct that. It's facing that way. Ne? That's the compass there. Upwards, north. The measured length of the house is 150 millimeters on the plan. The actual length is 18 meters. Interesting. Determine the scale used to draw the floor plan in the form 1:2. Right? And then use the scale in question 4.2 to calculate the actual length of bedroom 1 in meters if the length of the plan is 40 millimeters. I hope you can see this here, right? 40 millimeters. Let's answer all these questions in 5 minutes. Right, welcome back. Now, question 4.1. Determine the elevation. Our compass is inside the building. Let's put it inside. Never, ever smoke weed. Now, the front, this is the front side. This is the front side. So it's where? The south elevation. South elevation. And then 4.2, the measured length of the house 150 millimeters On the floor plan, the actual length is 18. So it means map or plan to actual is 150 millimeters to 18 meters, isn't it? But number scale, remember what we said about number scale. The units must be the same. So it means we can convert 18 meters to centimeters. How do we convert meters to centimeters? We multiply by 100. From a bigger unit to a smaller unit, we multiply because there are many smaller units in a bigger unit. Then from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, we divide. We have to convert to millimeters. So how do we convert? Let me just show you here. We have meters, centimeters, millimeters. So we multiply by 100 here, and then we multiply by 10, okay? Or we can multiply once by 10 times 100, which is 1,000. So we multiply by 1,000 so that we have millimeters to millimeters, okay? We have millimeters to millimeters. And then what we do, they said in ratio 1:2. We want to make this one 1. It means what we do on the left, we must do on the right. We divide the left-hand side by 150 so that we get 1. We must also divide 18,000 by 150. And then what we get 1:2. 18,000 divided by 150, we get 1:120. You see that there are no units there. Number scale does not have units. We don't write units. 1:120, that's enough. Okay, right. And then now we're using this scale to find the actual length. If the length of the bedroom in the plan is 40 millimeters, so what we do, like we said, 1:120. What about 40? 40 times 120. Just like we did with the previous one. Remember, I gave you an example of a tie. One tie, 100 rand. Two ties, 200 rand. 100 times 2. 3 ties, 100 times 3. So same thing here, 1:120. So 40 will be 40 times 120. Okay. Or you can cross multiply like I showed you. You can cross multiply. And then what you get? You get 1:120. Write your 40 here under the plan. And then length here, just cross multiply. 120 times 40 is equal to 1 times L. Okay, L is equal to 40 times 120, which is just this. Okay, and then you get 4,800 millimeters, which is actually 4,8 meters. Now we're converting back to meters, from millimeters to meters. Okay, right. Let's see. Always remember this, grade 12's elevation plans show the design of the outside of a building. In other words, an elevation is a side view as viewed from the front, back, or left, or right. It's just a side view. North elevation, I'm in the south, I'm facing the south, I'm looking at the south, I see the north. When I'm outside the building, okay, I'm outside the building, I'm facing the south, I see the north elevation. I'm outside the building, I'm facing north, I see the south elevation. I'm outside the building, I'm facing west, I see the east elevation. Then I'm outside the building, I'm facing east, I see the west elevation. Okay, right. And then this is your homework. Take your time, pause the video here and copy the questions. If you can take a picture of this diagram, please do so. And then after you're done, you can move on to the next slide. There's another question. Once you're done, let's move on. This is another question. Okay, you can copy it, pause the video, and make sure you have the question and try to do it on your own. All right, and then we have come to the end of this lesson, grade 12s. I really hope that you have learned a few things, not a few things, you have learned a lot of things, and you're going to apply them in your prelims, even in your final examination. Let's meet in our next lesson. Goodbye.